I woke up this morning thinking about one's morning routine and what kind of routine people have. We often talk about self care, and I plan on having a little morning reflection rant about that. But this morning I was thinking about my morning routine, and what I do is when I wake up, I try to wake up slow. And by slow, I mean I'm laying in bed and not picking up my phone or whatever to look at social media. I usually keep water by my bed, so I will drink water. And then I do the usual things that people do: brush my teeth, wash my face, and all of that. And as I make my coffee, or if I'm having tea, I do some writing and some reflection. And I try to, in the morning when I wake up, the thing that I may be thinking about is what I try to write about. And I'm getting better at a writing practice, right? So this morning I woke up with two things rattling around in my head. One was the man in the iron mask. I'll get to the second one maybe a little bit later. But the man in the iron mask is about a French king. It's a book, and it's about the French king. It's about living with certain decisions one makes and or chooses. We can make decisions, but that doesn't mean that we're locked in to not change our mind and change the course of that decision. And sometimes trying to do that can be difficult. Sometimes you can't change the course because it's already done, right? But there are times where you can change the course of the decision, and it's difficult, but it can be done. One chooses, if one chooses the man in the iron mask, you can make a decision about a thing. But sometimes when you're in that situation, you sometimes are just a part of the status quo. Do you go along to get along? Sometimes it's about standing with what you believe in, and it takes courage, because going against the grain does take some courage, but you have to be willing to take a chance and not know or not have control over the outcome. And that can be scary. But that's why one needs courage. Sometimes that word is thrown around a lot, but it's not until it's actually really happening do you realize, oh, this is what courage is. Because even to have courage means that there is something scary about that. Sometimes when you're wearing that mask, the mask gives you the illusion of freedom or of confidence even. But I don't really think it does. One may wear the mask out of fear. And the longer one wears the mask, I believe, the harder it will be not to wear the mask. One should understand wearing the mask is wearing a mask, but I also think that one should understand when not to wear the mask. One can take the mask off and show their true selves. Not that you're not showing your true self when you have the mask on, but you're showing a different version of yourself when you're wearing the mask. And when you're wearing the mask, you have more control over what version you show to the world. In the man in the iron mask, though, there are people who put themselves on the line to free the king from the cell and the mask, right? And this is also the story of the Three Musketeers. I should say that. The people who were saving or trying to save the king from the cell and the mask, they are musketeers. And so one of them says to the king, as they're freeing the king, "We feared the mask would destroy you." And the king says, "I wear the mask doesn't wear me." And that's what I woke up to this morning. I woke up to I wear the mask doesn't wear me. It's an interesting kind of thing when we have the internet and you could be anything or anyone on the internet, right? Because we are truly wearing a mask. It's very rare, or it's different from when people meet you in person. So I'm gonna tell you a little story, which is it really blew my mind. I didn't even realize it at the time. So I went to so BLX has an Instagram page, and I'm on the internet, right? I'm not on the internet. I don't put all of my business on the internet. I'm not like that. I'm from a different era. But so I'm on the Instagram page for BLX. If you don't know, we have an Instagram page. Please follow. And then I went to this little event I was invited to. It's just a small little event. And I knew maybe one or two people that were going to be there. So I go to the event and I walk in, and some people that I didn't even know says, "Hey, Sir Raven, it's you." And I'm like, "Who are you?" And we introduced ourselves, and I was taken aback. And someone that I know said, "Sir Raven, you are on the internet, and so yeah, people know you." And when they said that, I was like, "No, they don't really know me." And then as the day went on, and we were like talking about different subjects, and we were really having a really good time sharing that kind of space, one of the people came up to me and said, "When you came in earlier, you said no, no one really does know me." And they said to me, "But you're the same way on the internet, on your Instagram, as you are in person." And I was like, that's interesting, because I do try to be the same person. I did say that I don't put all of my business on the internet, because I don't, but I am my authentic self on the internet as I am in person. Now, don't get me wrong, there's layers. The person that they saw on the internet is the person that I am. I wasn't wearing a mask. I just am sometimes very guarded. But it felt good to hear that person on the internet that they see is the same person that they see in public or in real life. So, with that, there is also the concept of the second thing that I was thinking about, and I would have to come back in and maybe talk about that second concept. I'm sorry. Yeah. Let's talk about that second concept that I was talking about earlier. The other thing that I was talking about was Paul Dunbar, who wrote a poem, "We Wear the Mask." The Man in the Iron Mask really sometimes for me is about certain circumstances that you find yourself in and you wear a mask, right? These circumstances, you choose to wear this mask in times where you don't have to. I'm sorry, let me take that back. In Paul Dunbar's poem, "We Wear the Mask," it talks about how we choose to wear masks because we have to wear masks. And we're wearing this mask because of the circumstances that we're in. We have to make a decision to wear the mask for a number of reasons. But in The Man in the Iron Mask, that story, there is a conflict, and they imprison the king in this mask. And imprisoning him in the mask, he still has some agency when they break him out of the cell and the mask, and he is not in the mask. He has a certain amount of privilege, and he is free to do the things. Whereas the poem "We Wear the Mask" with Paul Dunbar, there are some of us who have to wear the mask. And I'm talking a little bit about both of those things. There are situations where we do have to wear the mask. right? But there are other situations where, like in the Man in the Iron Mask, we don't let the mask wear us. We wear the mask, right? It's about knowing when to take the mask off and show yourself and be vulnerable and true to the people that are important to you, the people that will stand by you, the people that you have trust in and that trust you. And then there are times where you have to wear the mask because America, and you're according to based on your situation, right? So not everybody has to wear a mask, and they have the privilege of not wearing a mask, whether it's the Man in the Iron Mask or the mask that we wear when we step outside of our houses. But then there are some of us who have to choose to wear a mask. So there's that. I guess what I'm saying is, or really the question that I'm asking is, do you believe you wear a mask? And do you know when you're wearing the mask and when to take the mask off? There are certain situations that you're wearing the mask, and there are certain situations where you're not wearing the mask. And when you're not wearing the mask, I guess you're different from when you are wearing the mask. I'm curious to find out if you think the mask does a service or a disservice. That's a loaded question. I know it's not fair, and everything is situational. But I'm interested to know, what do you think about this concept of wearing a mask? And even though in the book, The Man in the Iron Mask, it was literally a mask on the person, but in the poem, it is not a literal mask, but it is a mask, still the same. I'm interested in wondering what you think. Let me know in the comments if you wear a mask, if you don't wear a mask, when and how you choose to wear a mask, and how you feel when you're not wearing the mask. Let's do some comparison, right? With that, I will stop. I hope folks have a good day, a good evening, a good afternoon. Until next time, again, I am Sir Raven. This is BLX, or BLX Alternative, where we discuss, and by we I really mean me, discuss leather, BDSM, kink. We discuss wellness through art, all forms of art. And because we are not just one thing, we are multifaceted. You may get something like this. Until next time, bye.